China putting on a big show as world leaders gather for an economic summit. But not everyone is celebrating President Obama's trip to China. Donald Trump joins us. Good evening, Donald.
Good evening.
Donald, you've been going after China forever. What do you make of the president's trip to China?
Well, I'm more and more right, Greta. You look at what's going on. They're putting on a big show because they want to keep the money coming in. We're the ones that paid for that show. They're taking our jobs. You understand that. When it comes to Iraq, where are they to help us? When it comes to ISIS, where are they to help us? You know, they're the biggest beneficiary of Iraqi oil and oil reserves, and they're not there. When it comes to Ebola, where are they to help us with West Africa? It's ridiculous that they manipulate their currency. They make it impossible for our businesses to compete through manipulation. I mean, we do better product than they do, but through manipulation. And it's disgraceful, I think. I mean, that he's going there. He should go there, not do the celebrations, have a really strong talk with these folks, because what they're doing to us is very, very bad. They are truly hurting our economy and our jobs.
What do you expect the president to do at this sort of a routine economic summit? This is his second trip to China as president. But what would you expect him to do?
Well, I wouldn't have gone. I frankly wouldn't have gone, because the negotiating abilities that our country has versus China are a joke. It's like some high school football team playing the New England Patriots. It's an absolute travesty. And I frankly think he would have been better off staying home, let them come to him. You know, just so you understand, we have literally rebuilt China, the money they've taken out from us. And they're doing a pretty good job in European countries also, by the way. But the money they've taken out and drained out of this country, we have literally rebuilt China. And we do have, it's hard to believe, and a lot of people don't believe this, but we have the upper hand. We have the negotiating power. Because if we ever did anything to that, and to that ability that we've given them to drain us, China would have a problem like they've never had before. So we have all the power. He shouldn't be over there celebrating the fact that they're ripping us off. I mean, that's the only thing he can celebrate, the fact that they have ripped off the United States and many other countries.
Well, let me turn to midterms, the reflection on midterm results.
Well, it was a fantastic win for the Republicans because they're tired of Obama. They're tired of incompetence. People are tired of $5 billion websites that, by the way, it was announced today that it's not working again, and it never will work with the, clowns that they have running it right now. And the whole Obamacare is not working. I mean, on a much bigger position, the whole Obamacare is not working. It's a disaster. It's very, very expensive. People have indeed lost their doctors. They've lost their plans. They have deductibles that are so high. I mean, unless something's totally catastrophic, they'll never be able to get anything out of it. The deductibles have doubled, tripled, and quadrupled, so you're never going to see anything out of it. And yet the cost of it is much higher than they were paying 2 years ago. So it's really, although I must say it's been very good for the insurance companies, because I noticed their stock keeps going up, up, up. So the insurance companies, I guess in some very complex form, must love Obamacare.
Well, you got involved in some midterm races. Your candidates that you campaigned for, how did they fare?
Well, I was asked to do robocalls, which is a pretty powerful thing, and I was asked to do them for a lot of different people, David Perdue and Steve King and Lee Zeldin, and, a number of people asked me to do robos, and I did them, and they all won their races, and some of them were substantially behind, and they ended up winning easily, so maybe it had an effect. They seem to think it had a huge effect. I did it about 2 or 3 days before the election, so I think it does. I mean, I have a lot of people that follow me because they don't like to see our country getting ripped by virtually everybody. You look at, as an example, Mexico. They're draining us. People don't have no idea how well Mexico does against the United States in terms of economics. And yet we have Sergeant Tamarisi, and it takes 210 days to get him out of a prison, and he's got obviously some difficulties. So it's a very sad situation.
Well, I should probably tell the viewers I got a phone call last week, and you very generously offered to give Sergeant Tamarisi $25,000 to help defray costs for his treatment, for his legal fees. He depleted all his savings to try to defend himself, and you're very generous, Donald.
Well, I hope the lawyers don't take it all, because I know lawyers are better than most, and they'll hear about the $25,000. They're gonna grab onto it. So I hope you or his mother, I hope, can protect. I really want this money to go to him, not to his lawyers, and because I don't know what kind of a job the lawyers did. It took them a hell of a long time to get him out. But I felt very badly. I watched your interview. I thought it was an incredible interview. I felt very badly in watching him. He suffered greatly. And I think that this $25,000 will be the beginning of getting somebody who's a good person back with his life and onto hopefully a much better life that he's had.
And I should also add that a lot of other people have volunteered therapy dogs and all sorts of different ways to help him. So it's the American people, many of them are helping. Donald, as always, thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Greta.